Hello and welcome back. We are at the fabulously located Hilton, Times Square. It's off of 42nd Street, and we'll take a look around the room and give you a review of this room just right after the intro. First, let's start with, is it accessible by train? The answer is, of course, yes. There are two subway stations that are just on the end of the block here on 42nd Street that are just yards away, very walkable, and that's, I think, one stop away from Penn Station. And since Penn Station really is on 33rd Street when you exit, and this is on 43rd Street or 42nd Street, you're only really walking about 10 blocks if you choose to walk. Now we'll start with the room review. We'll start with the most important thing, the bed. Is the bed good? The bed is good, but it doesn't have my favorite pillows. I slept well. I just don't like these pillows that tend to be, when you just stick your head in. They're heavy, they're dense, but they just collapse and they fold when your head goes in. They're just not my favorite pillows. If you like those pillows, then you'll love this bed because the bed, the mattress is good and all that. The electronics. This is an older hotel, and you can definitely start telling when you look at the electronics, and you will see some wear and tear around the hotel, which we will look at. But we look at the electronics over here next to the bed. You don't even have USB-A ports. You only have just regular standard American outlets there. But if you do look here, they have this added, which does have the USB-C, does have the USB-A. So they made this little update to somewhat modern electronics, but that's going to be it. On the other side, you also just have only the standard US outlets. This light actually burnt out. That's why it's not on. So we go over this way. Now take a look at the desk because those electronics can be important for a lot of people too. The desk over here, 4 standard American outlets, and we got a USB outlet. So there's plenty of room to do your work here. You do have a light, so not worried about that. The other stuff that we got here, we got a coffee machine, just basic Cuisinart coffee machine, not your Keurig, not your Nespresso machine. Room does have a fridge, mini fridge, and a safe. So that's good. I love it when a room has a mini fridge. I think that's one of the more important features. Plenty of drawers, good sized TV. We take a look at the bathroom now. If we look at the bathroom, standard vanity, should be able to fit all your stuff on here for most people. Toilet, it works. I don't know what else you want. Shower, it's a shower and tub. Good water pressure, good heat. Comes with your shower gel, your conditioner, and your shampoo like you would expect. The bathroom, though, is where you really start to see some wear. You can see some wear in the door. See wear on this door side over here. If we look at the ceiling, you see some paint peeling up there. So this is an older hotel that's probably been in Times Square for quite a bit. It's clean, but it definitely shows its wear. We can even look over this way and there, and the molding. So if a little wear bothers you, this is not probably going to be your hotel, but it's a clean hotel and it's a great location. Like I said, it's in Times Square, so we'll take a quick look out the window here and we'll show what's going on. So if we look out the window here, this is a Times Square high level view. Times Square itself is going to be like the main part behind that older building right there, in between the Thomson Reuters building you see there and the taller building there. So you're only, walk to the end of the street that way and then a block that way, and you're basically in the heart of Times Square. This area, you got a couple movie theaters, Target. So if you forget something, the Target there is nice. 43rd Street, I think, is a lot of theater entrances. Aladdin, Harry Potter, all seem to be around here. I saw lines for those. So it's a very good located hotel. I would stay here again if I wanted to go to Times Square, and I am a Hilton person. That Hotel Carter right there, by the way. I had looked at that building, I was like, oh, that's a neat building. I'll look up the history of it. It's a very, very grim history of that hotel. Look up the Wikipedia of it because I don't even want to repeat it here. But wow, that's a grim, grim hotel. Anyway, this is the Hilton Times Square on 42nd Street. Good hotel, not great because it shows somewhere. I would stay here again if I wanted to go to Times Square again. If I'm not going to Times Square, I'd probably choose other locations.